What's your weather report on the weather here, the weather forecast for Seattle? How's all that affect a guy like you or the football team?
Yeah, I mean it was cold out here today. I think it in the forecast is supposed to rain supposedly in Seattle, so we'll see. We'll see. No, can't really prepare for the rain. You just got to adapt when you get there. So, we'll be ready whatever the weather is.
Supposed to be cold here tomorrow too.
It is going to be cold. Yeah.
Maybe you can at least stay inside. How productive? How important is it to be productive in practice, at least with the conditions you can control, weather-wise?
Yeah, no, I mean we were outside today. It was a cold day, and I think we got out there and got better today. But it's one of those things. We practice outside of most of the time during the season, so we do get used to it for these home games and definitely the road games when it's cold. But I don't think it'll be as cold in Seattle as it is here. So I think we'll be ready.
What did it mean to you to see Luke back out on the practice field today and get at some point? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's been awesome to see Luke. He was out there in pads and whatnot doing some individual stuff today. So it was great to see him back here. Obviously, had a tough injury. Didn't know when he was going to be back and if he'll be this season or not. So it's definitely nice to see him back out there. Hopefully we can get him back before the end of the season and for playoffs and whatnot. So it's awesome to have a guy like that back out there.
Could the rest of the guys around you hear you in Detroit? And, do they, would they be able to hear you, talk or make calls in Seattle? Could they actually hear you?
Yeah, no, guys can hear in the huddle. Obviously, it's one of those environments where it's very loud. So guys got to do a great job. I got to do a great job being able to yell everything out and just make sure everybody gets on the same page. But guys can hear. Once you get up to the line of scrimmage, it does get a little bit more difficult. But you just got to be able to communicate, make sure everybody's on the same page, and those guys do a good job if they don't hear something to be able to try and get up close and hear. But you just got to do a good job trying to be as loud as possible in these environments.
Do you change up the team? Is that up to you, or is that part of the play that gets called?
Yeah, no, I decide, in the huddle all the cadences, and some cadences are determined based on the motions we have, be able to time stuff up. But obviously in these road games we do silent count, so it's not the same as being able to use that cadence and mix it up. So, but yeah, I do decide the cadences.
In your first couple of drives in Detroit, and I think Matt even alluded to this, that you wanted to run, but they were letting you pass. I mean, did that kind of throw you guys in those first couple of drives? That the look that the Lions gave you?
No, I don't think it threw us for a loop or anything, but I think part of their plan was to load the box, try and stop the run, and make us pass. But I think we were hurting ourselves early, put ourselves in some bad situations, and obviously third downs we weren't good enough, weren't able to convert, and it all kind of just played a part in our slow start. So it's an area that we got to be better. Obviously, third down's been an area all season that we've had to clean up and be better. But I think they did a good job trying to get pressure and bring some of those pressures and just play man coverage behind it, and we weren't able to take advantage of what they did. So I think we got better as the game went on, but it was too little too late.
Jordan, this Seattle team, it seems like they've kind of gotten hot. They've got a couple of big wins over some last weeks, and it seems like interceptions for their defense were a big part of them getting those wins. What stands out to you when you look at Seattle's defense right now?
Yeah, no, looking at tape, they're definitely a really good defense. I think it starts up front with their D-line. They have a good D-line. So obviously, Williams is a really good rusher, and in the run game, they got some good guys. So, they're solid defense all around. They're very sound. And I think the big thing with these guys is you got to stay out of the negative plays, going backwards, pre-snap penalties, turnovers, all those things is where they thrive. And obviously, I think third down, they're pretty good as well. So we got to be able to just stay on track, have positive plays, and convert third downs. But they're a solid defense.
What's kind of the mindset right now, Jordan? You got a month left of football, obviously, but you're kind of well positioned. If you win a game or two here, you kind of know what your destiny might be now, playoff-wise. Mindset-wise, do you lay it all out there? Do you hold something back? Well, as a team, what do you feel about this last stretch?
Yeah, we're not holding anything back. We're keeping the same approach we've done all season, is taking it 1 week at a time. But with that being said, we're kind of in the same boat as last year. We're saying we got to win out. Our goal is to win every game, to finish the stretch, and obviously, like you said, secure a playoff spot. But yeah, we're going to take it one week at a time, and obviously, all of our focus is to go get a win in Seattle this week.
Jordan, we've talked the last couple of weeks about you being yourself again physically, but John's out there practicing now, Rome's coming back. You guys look like you're in, knock on wood, a really good spot health-wise, when a lot of times that's not the case late in the season. What would that do for you guys to really just have everybody kind of for the stretch run into the postseason?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the name of the game is trying to stay as healthy as possible, especially like you said, late into the season. There's definitely, injuries that stack up and guys being out. So to have everybody, relatively healthy and to be able to have, our top guys out there will be huge for us. So to be able to get guys like Rome and Ja back will be a huge key for us, and to try and be able to keep guys healthy throughout the rest of the season will be something that we'll look forward to.
You guys, go ahead.
I know there was such a focus on not turning it over, not forcing the ball into situations, but when you're throwing it like you did Thursday, where you're hitting it in those tight windows like the top of the Christian, is there, when you go back and look at it at the film, are there instances where you're like, oh, maybe I could have taken that chance, or maybe I don't need to be as careful as I was doing it, especially the way you
Yeah, no, there's always plays that you go back after the game and look at on film, and you look at it on film, you think, all right, maybe I could have fit a ball in there. Maybe the coverage wasn't as tight as you think it was, but things happen so fast in the during the game that you just try and move on, and obviously there's things you learn from on film. But like you said, the throw to Tucker, there's going to be those tight window throws you got to make happen, and receivers got to do a good job of making those plays, making those contested catches, which Tuck did on that one. But there's always a handful of plays you go back on film after the game and say, man, maybe I could have thrown this play, or maybe I shouldn't have thrown this play. So there's always that. But that's the fun part of just learning, growing, and trying to be better for the next week.
Are you starting to feel like you can put the ball exactly where you want it? I mean, even more so than, of course, when you're there.
Yeah, no, I always feel like, I can put the ball where I want to, and that's part of it too. Having that confidence to be able to throw those passes. But there's always, like I said, a handful of plays too that might not come off or be in the exact spot that you wanted it to, or throw might be a little bit off. So that's where you just got to try and be at your best every play, be as consistent and as accurate as possible.
Jay, I think about, like the throw to Christian, linebacker coming in the A-gap, you have to step up, adjust yourself, and then make that throw. Are those things that you practice, or is it just in the midst of the game? How do you kind of prepare to have those type of situations?
Yeah, no, those are the plays that, in the offseason. I practice with my quarterback coach, Steve Calhoun. We do a lot of drill work of, trying to make guys miss and avoiding the rush and just moving in the pocket, trying to make small movements. But this is stuff that we do all the time, trying to make a move and then reset, get back on platform. So it's cool to see stuff come alive in games when it does happen. But, even, an individual drill here during the season, we do a lot of drill work of pocket movement, staying on platform and being able to make those throws. So it's stuff that, as a quarterback, in the off season, those are the drills that you practice, and who knows when it'll come alive in the game. But, when it does come alive, those are the ones you want to make.
At this point of the season, are you still doing a lot of adding to the offense, or is it now, by this point of the season, execution and fine-tuning what you guys want to do?
Yeah, no, every week is definitely different. We add plays based on looks the defense has shown us on film and things that we might be doing to take advantage. And then obviously we have our base staple plays that are kind of in every week. So it's kind of that give and take of just, like you said, staying dialed in with the fundamentals on some of the base plays, and then trying to get as many reps as possible on some of the new plays that we have.
Jordan, going back to throw to Christian, I know you got more important things to do than ranking your favorite throws, but that was pretty ridiculous. Where does that one kind of rank? And were there audible oohs and ahs on Monday when you guys got back and watched the film of that and saw it? What was the room like?
Yeah, no, it's up there for me, I would say. It was a pretty cool play, definitely. And yeah, everybody, Matt, Tom, it's one of those things. Good play, on to the next. You know what I mean? So, like you said, it's part of that process. Never being too high, never being too low. But yeah, it was a cool play.
What's your feeling just before the release? Is there ever just like I got this, like that this is going to happen? Do you like will the ball in there? Do you feel like you're in the zone on a play like that?
Yeah, no, I mean, in the course of a game, there are all those plays where you do feel like you're in the zone, but, make the move, see Christian running, just put it out there for him, and obviously I got hit, wasn't able to see, so those are the ones that when you can't really see what the outcome is, it's tough. You kind of just got to hear what the crowd's doing, and you never really know what happened, so be able to get up and see that he caught it and made that play, it was pretty cool.
Hey, Jordan, when we think about you guys being physical, we obviously start with Josh, but what does the way Tucker has played do for you guys in terms of the message you send to defenses with physicality, running guys over, maybe even the kip up that he does at the end of being taken down, do for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you talk about the physicality, I think it all starts up front with the O-line, and they really set the tone for that. And I think everybody plays off of it. But, talking about Tuck, that's one thing that he made apparent this offseason was he wanted to improve on his blocking ability. And, he really spent a lot of time on that and just wanted to be a more physical player. And, I think it's showing up on tape, and he does some really good things in the blocking game. But, you talk about guys like Josh Jacobs and the way he runs. In the game, when you see guys, run somebody over or make a nice block, I think that just motivates everybody else and gives everybody that confidence to go out there and want to do the same. So, but like I said, that physicality, it all starts up front with the O-line.
Jordan, I feel like we've asked this a couple times with Tucker and Luke, and they've been kind of not together very much. What could a two tight ends look like, and how productive could that be if you could get those two guys?
Yeah, no, it'd be big time. I think the last time we had it was really during training camp. Having both those guys out there, and it definitely changes the plays we call and some of the formations we have and personnel groupings. But to have both those guys out there on the field, those are two really good tight ends. So, I think it definitely changes the way we can call some plays and things like that. But it's been tough not having Luke out there. So to get him back healthy and back on the field will be big time.
You guys don't play at Seattle very often. Fail Mary was pretty famous playing Packer lore. Have you heard stories about it from Aaron? Were you watching it? Do you remember that at all?
Yeah, I was watching the game. I remember seeing it. I think I actually posted some, like when I was young, on my Instagram. I deleted it now, but yeah, I remember that game for sure.
I joked in way, but what have you seen from Seattle this year?
Yeah, no, they're, like I said, just watching tape. They're a really good defense. I've watched some of their games to be able to see their offense. They got a high-powered offense as well, but their defense is definitely, I think, it's one of the top in the league. And just watching the past couple of games on film, their D-line is really good up front. They got some good guys, and I think in the back end they got some solid DBs who do a good job. I think they're all tuned in together with the coverages, and they don't let a lot of stuff pass them. So I think it's a really solid defense that we're going up against.
Do you recognize? Do they look like the Ravens since Mike is from there? Do you see any similarities like that in their scheme?
Yeah, they have some similarities. I think. We talked about similar to kind of the Texans defense as well, but I think it's one of those defenses that some of the R's too, they want to stand that shell coverage and keep everything in front of them. They want to take away the explosive plays, and I think they do a pretty good job of doing that.